Oh, messages. No. Clock. Calendar. Saturday the 16th of August.
Hello guys, it's the 16th of August today.
Clock. No. Clock. 3:45 p.m.
And
Notes. Clock. 3:45 p.m.
it is 3:45 p.m. where I'm living. So for some people it'll be Friday and Saturday morning, but it's Saturday afternoon here. Where I'm located, we had a huge earthquake not far off, and I've been feeling crappy all day, on and off. Sometimes okay, sometimes sick. I had a massive headache this morning, but it's not as bad as it was. Australia has gone really dodgy with its use of non-prescription medications. So I can't just take medication every 6 or 8 hours like I used to before last year. I can take medication sometimes, but if I've got to take it every 8 hours, then I've got to go to the doctors about every 3 days until the problem resolves or I receive any medical treatment for persistent symptoms, just because the world is going dodgy with more and more people misusing medications and everything having to go through a doctor now to make sure that I don't know why I would use Panadol recreationally, but let's just say to make sure I'm not recreationally using medications. Like, okay, whatever. I didn't think you could recreationally misuse Panadol, but that's because I don't do that. If I'm using it, I'm kind of feeling crappy. I don't know why stupid people have made it difficult for me to take medication when I need it. I even have to keep notes on taking health supplements because they're drugs too, and I don't want to recreationally use health supplements for, well, no other reason other than to actually get better and healthy. Like, hello, that's kind of why I'm using them. But no, I have to prove that the next time I see a doctor, which I'm very angry about that, because yeah, I'm not everybody else. I'm just living my life. So anyway, we've had a huge earthquake today, and I've been feeling on and off crappy, but I'm not deteriorating so far. So let's hope for the best, that I don't deteriorate further, which shouldn't happen, but you never know. I have been listening to YouTube. I'm going to play some games as well. And I'll see how I feel later tonight before bed. If I'm okay, then that's good. If I'm not, then I'll take some medication. Otherwise, I guess, I presume I'm okay. I'm going to try a new herbal medication tomorrow that will supposedly, I'll see what happens, supposedly strengthen up my immune system a bit. I'll see how it works, or whatever the case. It's eerily quiet right now. There's hardly any noise from birds and other insects and that outside. New Zealand is suspected of because of this earthquake in Australia. New Zealand is supposedly expected to receive some kind of tsunami threat next week, which I don't know. I guess time will tell. Someone said that a little kid predicted a tsunami next week, even though he doesn't know times and dates yet. He somehow predicted an earthquake for next week. Predicted a tsunami for next week. I'm very skeptical. I guess unless I actually experience something, like if a little child says something, my first reaction is, yep, they're still learning about the world. It's just their imagination conjuring things up, and they might think they're telling the truth. They're being as truthful as they know it, but they just don't understand that they're just imagining stuff. How would they know that something's going to happen next week? They're too young. But unless I actually experience something happening after a little kid, or anyone for that matter, especially kids when they say stuff, then I'm just like, no, it's all a joke. It's all just the kid's frightened and they're going to say anything because they're scared. If any child ever said to me, oh, this is going to happen on the 20th of whatever month, I'd be like, well, all right, darling, but, we'll just have to wait until then because everything's okay today. We'll see what happens. You can't presume something that you haven't seen happen yet. And then if they want to say something that sounds scary, like, oh, yeah, it was in my dream, or, oh, I just know it's going to happen, I'll be like, well, okay, but, it hasn't happened, and I don't want to burst your bubble, but it's not true. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, and you might think you know what's going to happen, but the fact is you don't. I know I couldn't say that to a 4-year-old because they don't understand that, but I'd just be like, oh, it's okay, sweet, nothing's going to happen. You don't have to be frightened, and if anything happens, I'll make sure you're okay. Like, I would say all that sort of stuff. I just wouldn't go, oh, yeah, well, the kids are good at making predictions. Like, maybe they are, maybe they're not, but I just think the psychology of children is very, very different from adults because of what they don't know about the world yet. And they're just saying stuff because it's like, that's what they think they know at the time. I don't think they're saying stuff based on, and I don't just mean scientific fact because kids don't understand science either, but they're not saying stuff based on what they know about the world. They're saying stuff based on what they know very little of this world. So they know something, so they can only go based off their very limited knowledge and understanding, which is always going to not be accurate at all. I think everyone's just afraid and concerned for what we don't know in the future because of this earthquake. And as an adult, I know there is a high likelihood of a tsunami warning in New Zealand next week. There is. But it may not be as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I mean, big earthquakes happen all over the world all the time. Not necessarily in Australia, not necessarily in New Zealand, but mate, they happen. So it's just really not that common in Australia, but they happen. So whenever there's an earthquake, you always expect a tsunami eventually. Whether it happens or not is another thing to determine. So, to be fair, I think there's not much we can do about these earthquakes. We don't have control over what happens, so we can be prepared as much as we can be, but there's really no telling what is actually going to happen. If a tsunami were to hit us tomorrow, some people would never expect it, and some people could get injured or killed. So, as terrible as it is, there's literally nothing anyone can do to even control what they're going to do until it's almost too late. I just don't know what else to think. I guess it's the best thing I can say is play it by ear and hope that nothing more severe happens over the next few days or couple of weeks or something.
CapEx.
And then I used Uber Eats today to get something from the shops, and then I made a huge blunder. And in order to fix it, I had to reach out to Uber support, so it'll now take 2 days to fix it. I want to be able to fix something in like 5 seconds, not 2 days, but anyway. But yeah, I personally think that maybe we won't get another earthquake like this for hundreds of years now. I would hope not anyway. I didn't find it to be very good. My home shook for several seconds and the whole ground shook. And the doors and windows rattled. I was not too happy. And I felt the ground rocking like a boat when you're on a boat, or when you're walking around and it's rocking to and fro kind of thing. It was kind of doing that, and I just was not too happy about that. I do not like earthquakes, and I hope to never experience another one again. I don't know how I'll cope for the rest of the day. As much as I'm supposed to believe everything will turn out fine, I'm basically going to go into shutdown mode for a while because that's the only way I cope with anything. Anything really bad is shutting down. So, I'm going to get going and upload this freaking video, and yeah. I'll do another recording again soon.
Messages. Blindfold Hopper. Doc. Page 1 of 3. Adjustable. Mitel. Amazon. Recorder. Voice. Recorder HQ. Pause. Stop. Button.